It is a pleasure for Adei Institute of Technology to have such a great relationship with you and Chenzo Capital. Again, Eric Yosiakwan is the managing partner for Chenzo Capital in Africa venture fund focused on technology and based in Ghana. Eric is also an advocate for the Kings countries, which includes Cote d'Ivoire. The Kings are Kenya, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. Welcome, Eric, and can you please, give us a short introduction of yourself and your fund?
Thank you very much, Odomichi, and it's a pleasure to be on. We are really excited about our partnership with the Adei Institute on this year's both Angel Fair Africa and our Africa Virtual Accelerator, which is ongoing now, which will be ending next week. And I understand your program is also ending this week, which is tomorrow. So we appreciate that though you were very busy, you also accepted our partnership. And I believe that we've been sort of cross-pollinating and sort of working hand in hand. So to give a bit of background, I ran Chanzo Capital with 3 other partners, Ian Zider, Musis Kosana, and Sewu Steve. I am sort of the front guy who runs around all the time, but classically I'm based out of Accra. We have an office, and Ian, the operating partner, is the one that runs our Ghana office looking at West Africa out of Accra. So I'm there with him most of the time, but I visit the other partners. Then Sewu is in Kenya, looking after our East Africa operations out of Nairobi. And then Musi is based in Johannesburg, South Africa, looking at after our Southern Africa operations. And that's how we cover Sub-Saharan Africa and the Kings countries, right? So as you know, the Kings is predominantly West Africa with, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana being the middle. And with that, basically, we focus most of our operating, which is why our partnership with you in Ivory Coast is really great, because obviously Ivory Coast is French-speaking, Francophone, and we want to make sure that we have enough partners there and we have enough concentration. And so for us, this is a very important partnership for us, and we're so glad that it's worked out so great. And so in terms of the investments, we so far invested in 16 companies as a fund. So our fund 1, which is the King's Startup Fund, with 2 companies, some of them from idea stages and all of them to revenue. So we invested in a total of 16. 4 of them have failed. 4 of them are break even. 4 of them are ever revenue, and 4 of them are profitable. So we have a 4x4 track record on our first fund. And the first fund is essentially a fund that focused on entrepreneurs within the Kings, but in 5 sectors that we're very keen on. So we focus on fintech, agtech, clean tech, health tech, and edutech. But it's been a great learning experience for us. As a team, we have also been able to survive the COVID period, which is sort of the toughest period in human history. As individuals, we've been able to kind of hunker down and focus on working from home and so keeping the team cohesion. But most importantly, we've been able to keep our portfolio companies all up and running and going, and we haven't lost any company. So that is probably one of our biggest achievements during the period. And to think about it, that actually at the beginning of COVID, we almost had some companies that their revenue had gone out to 20%, we're in the verge of losing companies, but somehow we've been able to succeed. And so we are very, very proud of that. And through that period, we've also worked with you and other partners to organize our 8th Angel Fair Africa, which is our event that we use to build the ecosystem around the continent. And this year we're supposed to actually physically do it in Dakar, but due to COVID, we had to do it virtually. And also the greatest thing we've done is launch the Africa Virtual Accelerator, which is sort of the virtual version of a physical bootcamp that we do every year to prepare the entrepreneurs. So Angel Fair Africa is our community event or ecosystem event, for one of another word, where every year we spotlight a country. We try to work with our partners across the continent, and we basically select entrepreneurs from across the continent, about 10 to 20 of them. And then over a 6 to 8 month period, we prepare them both virtually and then physically, right? And then we invite investors who are ready to invest in these companies, and then we go to a city. And essentially, we spend time getting to know the city. So it's a week-long event. So you take a week out, You're going to work, but also we try to make it fun by creating some interesting things. So essentially, this event is really about doing deals. The formula that we use is try to have more investors in the room than entrepreneurs, which is the opposite of other events where there are more entrepreneurs than investors. So typically, our event has a 2-to-1 investor to entrepreneur ratio, and that is deliberate because we want to consensuously um, create a process where the entrepreneurs that really have the leverage actually keep the leverage, so that the investor will see, oh, these entrepreneurs are good and we want to be part of what they're doing, right? And this is what has really led to deals happening. Over the 7 years that we've done, this is our 8th year, we've actually enabled $23 million worth of investment over the period. And we've gotten one exit from a portfolio company, a cohort company that was in the 2016 cohort. In terms of our partnership with you to make these entrepreneurs ready, we have a 3-pronged process. The first is we go out to entrepreneurial partners, which is organizations like yourself, who are already working with entrepreneurs, and we tell you to give us your top entrepreneurs. So we try to keep it to 10 to 20 or 10 per day, and maximum 10 a day, and then if it's 2 days, 20. So this year we're doing only 10. So this year we got about 24 submissions from our partners, and then we scale it down to 10. And then we had 2 or 3, as a backup, Then we put them through the main process now, the third process, which is the Accelerator program. So normally, if these things were physical, then they go to the boot camp. But because because of COVID, we created what we call the Africa Virtual Accelerator, which is the first virtual accelerator, right? Which we've been running the whole of this month. And we've been working with partners like yourself again, right? So we went back to our partners and said, okay, you've given us these entrepreneurs, we selected 10 of them. Now we want you to come and also help train them and make them investor ready. Then basically the entrepreneurs will then be investor ready to pitch on the 5th of November. So that's basically how the Angel Fair Africa process goes. And this is what we've achieved over the years. And our partnership with the ecosystem players like yourself, Google, iHub, Impact Hub, Startup Bootcamp, et cetera, has been tremendous to make this. So this is an ecosystem approach, and we are just the catalyst for it. After several deliberations and back and forth, we kind of decided that we should go to other non-Kings countries because we want to develop the rest of Africa. The Kings countries is really a concept to challenge the others to kind of come up, right? So now we're in the non-Kings countries, and the idea is that we can get all these ecosystems up to scratch and up to the level of the Kings, and we can build in the presence of building a better Africa and the Africa that will dominate the 21st century.